Well, congrats to Toledo, to Coach Campbell. Our first-class program. Had a great chat with him before the game, and just have a lot of respect for him. And then congrats to Northern Illinois for winning our side of the division's championship. It's sort of a familiar, story, I think, with us. In that we prepared well during the week. We've stuck together. Our guys care about each other, and want to be successful on Saturdays badly, and have worked hard for it. But we're unable to do. I don't want to say we're unable. We have not done what it takes to be, successful on Saturdays, consistently, and. Those are all things that we can improve on, and we will. There's no question about that. I believe in my heart that we're going to get better. And I wish you could have heard the seniors talking to the team, just the foundation that they have helped lay, and here they are in their last game with tears in their eyes, encouraging, the underclassmen, and so badly wanting Eastern Michigan football to be successful. And, in terms of our graduating seniors, that's a group that, led this program through transition, starting probably over a year ago. And people get, and I get it, get caught up with records and the winning and losing, and that's obviously, important. But those guys aren't going to be remembered for, leading us to a championship, but, they held an entire team of 100 people together through a tough transition in a tough year, and then another tough season. And there wasn't quit, those guys finished. And our thoughts are out right now to Bobby McFadden, and as he sustained sounds like a significant injury, wasn't able to finish the game with us. But I told those guys after the game, there's absolutely no place I'd rather be, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. There's no place that I'd rather be, and just excited about our future. So, any questions?
Yeah, coming in obviously to the first season finale of your time here. Just this season, with a 2-10 record, I know you talk about records. It is important in a certain respect.
Sure.
What's the building block from the 2-10? First losing record, I think, in your career as a head college coach. What's to build off of that?
Yeah, but you said losing records, so that's true. But I think I've had losing seasons before. Whenever you don't reach your full potential, I think you feel as though that it was a losing season. I've won championships before and felt that way. But you're right, it's a losing record. So yeah, part of it was just figuring out where this program was and figuring out the competition and what the building blocks were. And that was something that was ongoing, starting back in December, really. We started off in January with our winter conditioning theme being E60, Eastern playing for 60 minutes. And because, again, we had heard that, that Eastern hadn't finished games and may have let down at times. And so we worked with that in mind, wanted to play for 60 minutes. And, honestly, we had not played well for 60 minutes. But for the most part, our effort, has been strong. And so, one of the building blocks, and it's, it's been 15 minutes since the end of the season, so I don't have a whole dissertation for you. As I put my thoughts together, I will. But, if nothing else, we've continued to develop as a family. Our guys care about each other, and that's so important. And then we played hard. Even when the score was out of reach, our guys, haven't given up. And so if that's the starting block, that's that's an underground foundation, but nevertheless, it's essential. in terms of building something that's going to be strong and solid and something that will endure. So I think that's probably one of the things I would say.
Sure. Talk about today, 4 of the Toledo's touchdown drives in the first half under a minute, and one was like 2 minutes and 10 seconds. So talk about just a quick strike, capability, I guess, that offense had today and what your defense tried to do to adjust that.
Yeah, I think a couple times it was short fields, but nevertheless, still quick strikes and big plays. I know that they got us on one with, where they were just going with a quick tempo and really ran the same play back to back, and got a decent gain and came right back with it, and weren't able to make the play. Toledo's offense has been extremely effective versus everybody they've played. It goes back to losing to Iowa State. I think they lost 37-30 or whatnot. They're good. They're big up front. They've got mature seniors up front. Fantastic running game and some guys who can go and catch it. Their quarterback looked pretty healthy to me. I think some teams caught those guys quarterback less, and he was healthy today. So, honestly, it's haven't watched the film and whatnot, but we've got to be able to get off blocks and make tackles. I think sometimes on first down there's a pile at 2.5 yards, but when they mark the ball, it's at 5 or 5.5 yards, right? And there's oftentimes there's someone just a little bit late on a fit, and just getting off blocks and making tackles. Honestly, they made some great catches. That last touchdown, he ducks up underneath, comes underneath the arm of our corner, and the guy made a catch. Last week, one of their fades on our sideline, the one-handed catch, was a phenomenal catch. And so those guys were making some plays. It was when we're in a man-to-man situation, and really any zone becomes man-to-man. It's a matter of being ball aware and getting your eyes around and trying to make a play on the ball. And I think their quarterback did a good job of putting it in places where their guys could go and catch it. So, when you have a well-balanced offense that can run it and throw it, it's tough. And then their tempo I thought was effective. There's no question. When they did some personnel groupings and whatnot, and we weren't necessarily subbing off personnel, so they were still going fast off of that. And they obviously had a good plan and took advantage of some of our early mistakes and short fields. Our punt that they caught and returned hurt us as well, and that has happened more than once. We just had slow starts. We wanted to take the ball, and we did. And would have liked to have had a nice long drive, and to put points on the board and let our defense play second. But we just weren't able to sustain the drive.
With the senior class, the last 3 seasons have been tough, across the board, on and off the field. At times, what do you? I know you kind of spoke to the fact that they held the team together, but do you think that's an important legacy that they'll have, that didn't add up in wins and things like that? But how important is that, especially for you going forward?
It's just I just have massive respect for them. Here they are, and again, you guys talk about the record. Well, nobody wants the record to be better than those guys. You know what I mean? You're not living it and thinking about it and training for it every day. Those guys have put their whole lives into trying, to be better on Saturdays in the fall. And for those guys in the locker room with literally tears in their eyes, hugging each other, and they're not throwing helmets against the locker, and saying, I hate this place, and we suck and we always will. They got tears coming down their face, and they're talking to our underclassmen going, you guys can do this. You guys can change this, and we hope that we've left an impression and a building block for you. It's, that's powerful, just powerful. How's Bronson Hill, who got so much, publicity and has had some crazy years, and so Bronson's been Brummy's been our starter. Bronson didn't quit. Bronson just worked harder and harder in practice and supported Brummy, and then when got his chances, played really well And when Bronson was playing all those years, why is Brumfield still here? Because he's worked hard, he cares about the team, and I mean, we want to talk about senior leadership. I mean, that's hard to do. I mean, that's really hard to do. You know, I mean, Rob Bolden, it's his last year, you know, and had a chance to start and whatnot, and I mean, he's been nothing but first class. You know, I mean, it's just Cam, you know, in his last game has got a bad wheel and wanted so bad to play, but I mean, he'd tell you before the game, he's like, if Dwayne is going to be better, I just want our team to be successful today. And of course, I mean, he had his family, I think, drove 13 hours to be here, you know, on his last, you know, so, you know, those seniors have been through it, you know, and, you know, when you go through it, but you come out, you know, not a 10-2 record, but you come out with that kind of character, I'll tell you, you know, our guys are more than football players. You know, and I'll make sure that they know that. I mean, they're great football players, but they're more than football players. You know, those guys are going to be impact men as husbands and fathers in the community. And I just saw that again during and after this game as much as I've seen it, you know, in the entire time that I've been here. And they are going to feel a part of it. They're going to know that they've been a part of it when we get this thing going. And we are going to get it going.
And how emotional was it with Robert on the ground? I mean, it was a mixture of seniors and underclassmen. I mean, you know, you guys don't have a bowl game, know there's no championship game, and they're all out there, you know, that's his last game. I mean, I thought it was kind of a neat moment. They were all surrounding him and trying to kind of pick him up, it seemed like.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was a neat moment. I mean, it neat in terms of the support, but I mean, that's not surprising. I mean, I get what you're saying, but I mean, he was in a lot of pain.
But I mean, the game was still going on, and they made a point to stay out there and kind of be there for him. No,
Yeah,
yeah. I didn't mean it was
yeah,
dangerous,
no,
but,
right,
you know,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah, no, I mean, I can't tell you how you know, these guys are close. You know, it's real, you know. I mean, these guys are close.
And Tyrese, he didn't play after that?
Yeah, he got banged up and had some X-rays, but they told him that yeah, he was done for the game. Yeah.
How tough is that? You know, is it harder to go out and not be able to finish as a player? You know, as a former player yourself.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, you think it's going to be your last game, and then if it gets the last game gets cut short. I mean, there's people whose, you know, careers get cut short and a season gets cut short and all that, and here we are in the last game, and two seniors who thought they'd be playing for 4 quarters, you know, weren't able to. And the game's mean, you know, we love it, and it has an incredible impact and influence on our life and whatnot, but the game is mean. I don't know how else to say it.
You know, moving on, I guess as a redshirt freshman right belt, has this season started most of the way through, and it's something that you said last week that playing for 60 minutes, that's just the absolute standard now. So for somebody who basically is the offense like Reggie is, what do you see maybe out of him moving forward? What expectations do you have of him moving forward? Stuff like that.
Well, I mean, those would be your words, that he is the offense. I mean, he's our quarterback, and he's going to be a really good one. But Reggie, 1 against 11 of a junior high JV team, you know, is going to get tackled. You know what I mean? I mean, it's never about one guy. He is going to be the quarterback, and the quarterback, there's no denying that in football, you know, if you've got a special one there, you've got a chance, you know. And Reggie has grown at leaps and bounds this year. We are super excited, you know, about the future with him. You know, I can't remember, you know, you guys and how much you attended this spring and whatnot, but you know, he was not our starter, nor was he knocking on the door, you know, at that point. And the growth, the maturity, the development and whatnot that he's made from the spring into the season, and then throughout the season is awesome, you know, and he's got 3 years left, and but he's by far and away not the only one, not our whole offense, but you know, he's taken some great steps forward. I mean, you know, today was a tough day. I mean, Toledo had a great plan, and you know, we struggled to beat man to man, you know. Again, I don't know that the offense was built to throw the ball as much as it was to run, and we've been trying to throw the ball more, and And so man-to-man has been effective versus us. Where, against Ball State, when it's zone, we're a little bit more effective. So Toledo, we knew they were going to do it because it's a pretty similar plan to what they did against Bowling Green, and it was effective then. And so they've really improved defensively, and I think some of it is that move. So, but anyway, we're excited about Reggie Bell as our quarterback.
How much of a factor was the offensive line in his development, or other games that he's had this season being as banged up as it was, and other factors like that, the offensive line?
Yeah, I mean that's a great question. So when you have an offensive line that's going to protect a quarterback and give him time to throw, you really never notice those guys, but that's all the difference in the world. I thought even today, early on, it looked like Reggie didn't have much time at all. And it was a tough start for us. But as the day went, there was more and more time. I think he did a better job, using the pocket and whatnot. But was far from perfect, but there was more time. And you don't have a chance. I don't care who you are. If you don't have time, you don't have a chance. When you have time, then, you have a chance to be pretty good. So the offensive line, we're losing 4 offensive linemen, 3 of which you've started. And so, and I've said all along that those guys had a chance to be the backbone of our team. And Lincoln Hansen, you get 100 Lincoln Hansens and you're going to win a league title. I mean, he's been an incredible captain and a great player. And if it's possible, he's an even better person, And then Bobby, is in the spring, I think they played him at guard and whatnot. And we kind of figured out, wow, he had a great year at tackle. I mean, he was our left tackle, and again, he's just a guy that you don't notice much, but it's because he's played really well. And then Cam, I mean, we had some errant snaps and all that. He's probably a better guard than center, but played a lot of center for us and really played well. And then Jordan Urbis was on our punt shield and, and a backup offensive lineman. And so we'll definitely miss those guys. Now, we recruited, 5 offensive linemen this last year that have all redshirted, and so those guys all need to be in the mix and need to grow up fast.